If your blood sugar is too high for too long, that can cause massive damage. And the truth is, keeping your blood sugar under control is very doable. You can do it even without giving up things like bread or pasta, if you know what to do. So today we're talking about how to control blood sugar spikes, how to reduce them, everything backed by science. And at the end of the video, I want to share a natural supplement that can help as well, and the best way to sweeten your foods that doesn't cause blood sugar spikes, but actually reduces them. Here's the first hack. What if you could cut your blood sugar spike in half without removing a single carb from your plate? Scientists have shown this is actually possible using peanut butter. First, they had people eat a meal that causes blood sugar to go up, orange juice and a bagel with some butter in it. But when they use peanut butter instead, same bagel, same orange juice, the blood sugar spike was cut by 55%, more than half. Not 1 gram of carbs was taken out, and yet the spike was cut in half. How is that possible? Well, the protein in peanut butter slows down the digestion in our gut so that the carbohydrates are absorbed more slowly and the blood sugar spike is smoothened. Protein also stimulates the production of insulin, which pulls sugar from our blood. So it's less about how much carbohydrate I eat and more about having my carbohydrates with the right company. This effect of protein has been shown many times. You can have an egg or some tofu or chicken breast or even a protein shake with some protein powder together with that carbier food, and that reduces the blood sugar response. Protein is so powerful, some trials even show it working on the next meal. So you add some protein at breakfast, it smoothens that blood sugar response after breakfast and the one after lunch. But protein is not the only thing that works. The same team of scientists found that apple cider vinegar has a very similar effect. They had the participants take 1 to 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar mixed in water before the meal. And that blunted the sugar spike by 55%, similar to the peanut butter. They report that this blunting effect was stronger for meals that cause a larger spike, which makes sense, right? There's more room for improvement. Now, fat and fiber can also have a blunting effect, not as powerful as protein to a lesser extent, but they also work. This even works with purified fiber, psyllium husk, which is a supplement. It's just fiber purified. Adding that to a meal lowers blood sugar spikes. And the great news is the effect of fiber and fat are independent from the effect of protein, so you can use them all at the same time in the same meal and get the largest effect. Okay, another trick is to change the order of the foods that we eat. One randomized trial gave people the same foods, some bread, some orange juice, some chicken, and a salad, but in different orders. When they ate their carbohydrates first, the bread and the orange juice first, and the chicken and the vegetables last, they saw the largest blood sugar spike. But when they had the chicken and the vegetables first and the carbs last, the spike was cut in half. When they ate everything together, the spike was a little lower than when they ate the carbs first, but larger than when they ate the carbs last. So same exact foods, nothing added, nothing taken away, completely different sugar response. Okay, the next hack is possibly the most important one. But first, is it only diabetics who benefit from these tips? Pre-diabetics can also benefit. Their blood sugar is not quite as bad as a full-blown diabetic, but it's already abnormal, too high for too long. And some people have the opposite problem. Sometime after eating, their blood sugar gets too low and they can feel lightheaded and tired and dizzy. If you have that problem, you might benefit from these tips as well, because smoothing the blood sugar spike helps prevent the dips. Otherwise, for a healthy individual with no blood sugar issues, your blood sugar going up after a meal and coming back down is completely normal, healthy, and not harmful. In fact, some of the healthiest foods on the planet, like unprocessed whole fruit, do exactly that. And people who eat more fruit have a lower risk of developing diabetes and heart disease. So very important distinction. The danger is not a normal blood sugar rise after a meal in a healthy individual. It's an abnormal spike that is too high and too long in the context of disease like diabetes. So you want to be careful with internet content that fear mongers and tells people they want to keep their glucose flat all day. Being scared of an apple because it raises blood sugar is like being scared of exercise because it raises heart rate. It's completely missing the point. We have a whole video going over what's a normal spike and what's an excessive, dangerous spike. I'll link that in the end. But now let's go on to the next hack, which is choosing the right carbs. Replacing refined starches like white bread, artificial sugary cereals, or soda, or candy with unprocessed whole grains like steel-cut oats, whole grain or sourdough bread, or wild rice can completely change your blood sugar response. One trial out of Australia found that whole grain bread reduced blood sugar response compared to white bread by 35 to 40%. And a systematic review and meta-analysis found that unprocessed oats like steel-cut oats or old-fashioned rolled oats caused a smaller blood sugar rise than instant oats, which are chopped and pre-cooked and often have sugar added to them. And with the completely unprocessed oat grain, what we call oat groats, the blood sugar spike was a little smaller still. It was the smallest of all. So the more intact the food is, the smaller the sugar spike, and that's because digestion takes longer. Your body needs to work harder to get at the nutrients and to separate and to absorb them. And so the carbohydrates get absorbed more gradually and the sugar spike is smoothened. Okay, another way to transform your carbohydrates is to cool them overnight in the fridge. One trial found that cooling pasta after cooking it reduced blood sugar response by 15%. This works because cooling foods that contain starch transforms starch so it's no longer broken down in our small intestine and absorbed. This is what we call resistant starch. But if you want to call it the cool starch or the cool carbs, that's okay with me too. Resistant starch is also found naturally in foods like lentils. One trial found that having white rice or potatoes with some lentils instead of by themselves reduced the blood sugar response by 20 to 35%. With lentils, you have several of these factors we talked about happening at the same time, right? You got resistant starch, you got some protein, and you got fiber. Okay, the next hack is less about the food itself. It's more about your body moving. Just going for a simple walk, a stroll after a meal, the exact same meal can reduce your blood sugar spike by 20 to 30%. When your muscles are activated, they take up sugar from the blood, so your blood sugar level comes down. Okay, next we're going to look at a natural supplement that can help a bit more. Just remember, as we're talking about spikes, the spikes are a manifestation. They're a consequence of the problem. And it's okay to try to control blood sugar spikes if they're excessive, but always bearing in mind the real goal is to fix the underlying metabolic issue so that your blood sugar behaves normally. We have a whole video on reversing diabetes. I'll link that in the description. One big factor is maintaining a healthy body weight, low body fat, and eating a healthy diet and exercising. A number of things we've been talking about are important tips as well. Okay, here's a bonus hack. If instead of sugar, you sweeten your coffee, for example, with a sweetener called stevia or monk fruit, those don't cause a blood sugar spike, unlike regular sugar. And another sweetener called allulose even reduces blood sugar spikes. So you can have the exact same meal, add allulose to it, and the blood sugar spike is lower than the same meal without the allulose. This is a great hack for people with diabetes, prediabetes, etc. Okay, let's talk about supplements. Mulberry leaf extract is a natural supplement widely available that's been shown in scientific studies to reduce blood sugar spikes by up to 40%. And berberine is another one that's been shown in meta-analyses to reduce spikes by 18 points, 18 milligrams per deciliter. Very respectable drop. You want to be careful with proprietary supplements sold by influencers on the internet. The vast majority has never been tested. All the supplements we've talked about are generic. You can find them everywhere. They're cheap, and I don't sell them, so I don't have a horse in the race. Also, consider third-party tested brands because you never know with supplements how much is actually in the pill because regulation is so lax. And as always, talk to your doctor before you start something new. Okay, what's a normal healthy spike and what's a spike that's too large and dangerous? We covered all of that in this video right here, So check it out, and I'll see you in there.